Live with CDP Sports Talk, a weekly sports and entertainment podcast sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet. Live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. And on audio via Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Radio Public, and TuneIn. Now, here's your host, Chris Palme.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Season 5, Episode 44 of Live with CDP Sports Talk, sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership, 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. You guys can check out barrycullen.com for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, or give them a call at 519-824-0210, or you can email them at info@barrycullen.com as well. Just to let you guys know, it is truck month at Barry Cullen Chevrolet here in Guelph, and the 2023 Silverado pickup truck 1500 is now available for 3.49% financing for up to 72 months. Eligible Costco members can receive $750 bonus gift cards on select trucks as well. I hope everyone's doing well today on this Friday, April 21st. And I'm looking forward to my guest today. His name is Jason Smarr. He is a professional basketball player, a guard with the Basketball League's Salem Capitals. And when he's not playing basketball, he teaches elementary school physical education. And he's also an assistant coach with the Corban University men's basketball team up in Salem, Oregon. So I'm really looking forward to speaking to Jason today about his basketball career and also being an assistant coach and a phys ed teacher as well. Good afternoon, Jason. How are you doing?
Good afternoon for you guys. Good morning to us West Coast U.S. people, Pacific time zone people. How you doing, Chris?
Good. I forgot that. So good morning to you.
Oh, no, you're all good.
Hey, I had one guest a year ago that was from Australia. So they were like 14 hours ahead of me.
Oh, man.
So I had to do the podcast at about 3:30 in the morning Eastern time.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So, but thank you so much for coming on, Jason. I know you're busy with your being a phys ed teacher, and also you got a game tonight against the Bighorns, who are 7-7.
Yeah, that'll be a good game tonight. Especially it's all of our games from here on out are conference games, so it all matters in regards to postseason standings wise, and also just continuing a upward trend as we head into the later part of the season.
One thing I wanted to ask you, the Bighorns, what's the name of the city? I can't pronounce it.
Wenatchee.
Okay, and that's in Oregon as well?
That's in Washington. So it's
Washington
it's in the eastern part of Washington.
Okay, well, that's good to know as well. One thing I wanted to ask you is, how do you do it all, being a physical education elementary school teacher, an assistant coach at Corban University, and then being a pro basketball player, guard with the Salem Capitals, and being married on top of that?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that last part, because if you didn't mention it, I definitely would, because that's one of the biggest reasons why I'm able to do all the things that I can do, is my lovely, supportive wife, my beautiful wife. She's just so supportive in my endeavors, and is really just a backbone for me to support me in all of these things, and then ultimately my faith in God, just relying on Him to fulfill me and renew me with energy every day. It's just an encouragement to be able to be used in this way in all these different places, just being called to do that, and continually finding ways to just help others and serve others.
Well, like I said, I really appreciate your friendship online, and glad to get you on my show as well. This is my 264th episode today since March of 2020, and I'm working on a new career in the radio, and I want to prove to people that you can switch careers later in life as well.
You absolutely can. And you're doing a great job, Chris, and I really appreciate what you're doing to provide a platform for a lot of different people in a lot of different realms. I've seen, the guests that you have on here. It's really cool to see they're all from different walks of life. It's not just one thing, so that's really cool.
Thank you. I'm very lucky, and a podcast is only as good as its guest, and it's a lot of work. Anything you do in life, if you want to be successful, anything in life, being an athlete or going into radio or a different career, you have to be willing to work hard and to learn and to be willing to improve every day.
Yeah.
And I'm also very lucky, Jason, as well. We'll get into questions. I'm involved with the National Basketball League of Canada here as a media affiliate, and also now with the TBL a little bit as well. And you're my second TBL player to come on after Chris Darrington from the Toledo City Glass City, and their head coach Dave Zamora. Really good guys, and I'm getting to know people around the basketball league as well as the NBL of Canada as well. Before we get into questions, what are your quick thoughts on this merger between the TBL and the NBL of Canada for next year? I guess they're going to call it the Basketball Super League.
Yeah, I think it's really great what the Magley family is doing to provide a opportunity, and even on a greater scale, for guys who are, I would say, underrepresented or maybe underrated in regards to their basketball careers, guys who are just starting their basketball careers, maybe coming out of college, maybe played at a small school, maybe even played at a big school, but just didn't have the opportunities to really showcase themselves to other leagues. It just allows for guys in the U.S. and even, abroad to come play here in the U.S. and to get opportunities that normally wouldn't be there, especially with the Basketball Super League being created. From what it sounds like there's going to be kind of just like a little bit of different tiers in regards to, like, there's still going to be the TBL within reason, but also there's going to be more of a higher echelon, more of the financially stable clubs and teams and franchises, and also just more of the bigger markets. They're going to be focusing on that, while also still finding smaller markets to provide basketball and quality basketball in a community-focused environment.
Yeah, because right now the TBL's got 6 divisions, 49 teams. The NBL of Canada, the National Basketball League of Canada, before the pandemic, had, I believe, 10 teams or whatever, and the pandemic really hit that league here really hard, and now they're down to 4 teams. And Audley Stevenson, who's a great guy, their commissioner, he knows Magley's very well, and I think long-term this is the best solution. As well, because like you said, the NBL of Canada, 4-team league, it's not.
Yeah, that's kind of hard.
It's really hard.
I mean, you play the same 4 teams, and that was something last year for us up here in the West. The West is more of an upstart in the last couple of years, with us being in our first year last year, and then Vancouver, they've been around. Vancouver Volcanoes have been around for a while, well-known name, but joining then the TBL. So that was like a first year. And so we played them almost 12 times last year. We actually played them overall, I think 15 times, including the playoffs. And that was just simply because of geography. And then, having only 4 teams in California as well, we essentially were a, six league team. So sort of similar to that 4 league team, where it's just like, all right, we know who we're going to be playing. There's not really many additions or subtractions from the team in regard to personnel. So it's just like, all right, we all know what we're each going to do. We just have to keep playing each other, because ultimately that's what our schedule is allowing for.
And then the TBL put in 3 Canadian franchises this year.
Yeah.
1 in Newfoundland, which used to have an NBL of Canada team.
Yeah.
And then 2 teams in Quebec, the Academy, I guess, in Quebec. And then the other one was Montreal. So I'm assuming I should get Audley Stevenson on here, and maybe Dave Magley from your league as well. And I assume they're going to have an all Canadian division for this Super Basketball League next year.
Yeah, that would be really cool. And I think it was a unique opportunity for us to go out to Newfoundland, because that was really cool to just see the environment. The people were so hospitable. I mean, it was like the hotel that we stayed at, it was connected to the arena. So you walk through the lobby, walk upstairs, over on a sky bridge and then through a little building, and then you're literally in the arena. So that was a really cool experience for us because I'll brag, we have probably one of the best facilities in the West Division, if not in the whole TBL, in Salem, with the Salem Armory Auditorium. It's one of the most beautiful venues that you could be in. And just being to then go into an actual, like a true arena, it was a pretty cool experience. It felt like, for me, this is my second year playing professional basketball. I haven't had a lot of professional basketball opportunities. And so being able to be in that arena setting, it was just a cool thing to see, especially, how the town of St. John's is rallying around one of their only, professional teams in the area. It's really cool.
Definitely. And overall, you like Newfoundland. Did you get a chance to sample some of their food down there and the Canadian protein?
Yeah, I did. So I got to have some really good food. I'll send you some pictures of the breakfast that they had complimentary breakfast for us every morning. Boy, we did not leave hungry, let me tell you. And I got to stop by Mary Brown's. We got to try the chicken there. So that was pretty cool because we're like, well, we're playing in the Mary Brown Center. We might as well try the Mary Brown's chicken. It was really good. We went to Freak Lunchbox. I think that's what the candy store was called. And that was pretty cool. I got to bring my wife home a bunch of stuff. I took pictures. I'm like, all right, what do you want? And got to bring home a bunch of cool stuff. Man, my favorite was it's like the big Kit Kat one, like the thicker Kit Kat, the big cat, but it had cookie dough in the middle. That was good.
We have stuff that you guys don't have in the States, and then you guys have stuff in the States that we don't have in Canada. So when I always come over to your country, I always try to pick out stuff I can't get here at home as well. Hey, one thing, my friend Tanner Stuckman, who plays for the Windsor Express, they were in Newfoundland as well. He loved it as well. But they ended up staying there a couple extra days because they had a small fire at the airport in Newfoundland in St. John. So they had to spend a couple extra days there. But overall, he said they really enjoyed the arena and the hotel and everything there as well.
Yeah, it's a really nice place. That's somewhere where I would personally, even if I wasn't playing basketball, I would go back and visit again because it was just a beautiful area. I loved how we got to go up to the Cabot Tower, and that was really cool. It just sits up very highly elevated, and you can see everything. Like you can see the entire town, and then you can see all the ocean just as far as you possibly can see. So it was really cool to be able to see that historical monument as well. And just walking around the town of Newfoundland in St. John's there, like it was a really surreal experience. I was very fortunate that I was able to go. And, ultimately on the court wise, it didn't go the way that we wanted to, but I mean, getting to be there for basically a week was a really cool experience.
I was going to say, and you're from Salem, Oregon. It's the capital of Oregon. I didn't know that. And your population is about similar to the city where I live here in Ontario called Guelph, 175,000 people. And it's Salem is also the third largest city in Oregon. So I didn't know that. I've been reading up since I've had you as a guest. And the basketball team was founded in 2020 and didn't start up until last year. And how hard was it during that pandemic for those 2 years?
Yeah. So, I mean, I know that I've gotten a little bit of insight in regards to like the way that things were going prior to our first season last year. And it's a really cool story. I'll have to connect you with our owner, Jason Conrad, so he can tell you the story about how the Salem Capitals came to be. But ultimately, long story short, it was a lot of hard work, a lot of trials, tribulations, and just a lot of good fortune too. And just being able to have the right guys, especially last year, like we had a great team last year where it just all pieced together. And then this year we've built off of that as well. Record-wise, it may not show it, but we're working through a lot of really cool things. And like we have a great group of guys that are like each other, that want to work hard together, and that's ultimately what matters.
What are the roster sizes for a TBL team?
So each week there's 12 that can be active for the roster. And then even if home game or away, there's only 12 that can be active, but you can have ultimately up to 15 on your on your actual roster, but your active game day roster, or which for us, we either play Friday, Saturday, Friday, Sunday, or Saturday, Sunday. So one of those 2 days, you have to have your roster submitted and then it can't change for that week. Every week it can change, but like once you've submitted it, that's what it is. Even if there's an injury or anything like that, that's what it is.
Is there a story behind the number you wear, number 5?
Honestly, it was one of the things when I showed up after training camp last year and I was looking through the numbers. I'd never worn the number 5. I had worn the number 25 in high school, and I had worn the number 23 in college. I'd worn the number 10 in college, and all those numbers were taken. So I'm like, okay, well, this is my first professional opportunity. I'm going to try something new. And so the number 5 was there, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take it. And from that moment, like, it's been a really cool thing to see, you know, people in the stands with my jersey on, you know, with my name on it. It's like, this is cool. Like, because in college, I didn't really, you know, we didn't really have that. High school, obviously, you don't really have that. Maybe you give your jersey to someone to wear during the game or whatever it is. But it was just cool that people are genuinely investing their money in buying a jersey that has my name on it. Like, that's like one of the coolest things about this whole thing.
How has the community of Salem supported the team so far?
Oh, they've done such a great job. You know, it's still building. I mean, it's the second year. So we had a really good first year, and people, you know, we averaged about 500 people per game through the last season. And in our arena, it's really cool because the way that it's shaped, it's like all the way around the court, but not like fully. So it's not like a regular arena where it's a circle. It's like almost a semicircle. And then we have a stage where we have what's called the Ox Box, which is the 21 and over section. It's kind of like a nightclub type deal, bar area where people, you know, 21 and over get to go hang out up there. So they get loud, raucous, you know, it gets all crazy and really cool. And the community's been awesome, you know, getting to be involved in the community in the way that I am, you know, as a PE teacher here at the school, having all the kids wanting to go to the games and showing up in their Salem Capitals gear at school. And they're like, Mr. Smarr, can you sign my shirt? You know, and all that stuff. And then also on the other side of things, getting to go to all the Chamber of Commerce events. There's people with all these small businesses. They sponsor us. They want to be involved. It's really cool how Salem's just really wrapped itself around the team. And again, we're only in our second season, so it's not like this is something that's been fully established or anything. So we're still building supporters and a group of supporters. But currently, like, we have some very diehard fans, which is really cool because, you know, again, we're in our second year. It's not like we've been around forever. So
what's the average ticket price for a game?
For kids, it's like $6, and for adults, it's $12. But on Sundays, we do students get in free. So any kid, student, you know, basically even up to college students can get in free to the games on Sundays. And then otherwise, you know, adults are about $12. But that's just for general admission, just getting in. And what's really cool about our environment is that after the games, all the fans get to come on the court. We are out there signing autographs, you know, talking, taking pictures, stuff like that as well, which is awesome because then it's more personal, I would say, than most professional leagues and most professional teams that you see, because the environment, the way that Jason Conrad and his dad Bill have done a really good job of marketing the team in a way that, like, during every timeout, there's always something. Like there's some kind of event, some kind of fan engagement that's within it that is really cool, that all the fans feel like they're actually part of it. It's not like they're just sitting there watching the game, drinking a beer or whatever. It's like, no, like they're like, oh, I hope I get to get called down onto the court to do the 3-point contest or to do the roll the ball to the bowling pin to win free bowling, stuff like that. And we have some great community sponsors as well that have provided, different incentives like Chuck E. Cheese, like, they give $100 gift certificates, like for kids to, if they win the event, they get the thing, so it's really cool.
It sounds very similar to the NBL of Canada too. It's a fan league where the players are approachable for media. I can talk to any players after the game and coaches, and then they do autograph sessions as well. And you know what? That's the fun part. As much as I love pro sports, I wouldn't get as many opportunities without the National Basketball League of Canada and the smaller leagues. And I've watched your league, and last year the Albany Batoons I watched, the Toledo Glass City, and with technology and live streaming, people even here in Canada now can watch games like where you are up in Salem, Oregon, if they choose to.
Right. Yeah, and that's what's really cool about the TBL and TBL TV. It's a very consistent quality where you're able to watch the game. Sometimes, sure, it's like anything, a feed might cut out. It is what it is, right? Because it's not like everything's on cable. But the way that it's consistently, in general, like more accessible for everyone is really cool. Because I have family that live in Arizona. I have family that live in California. They're able to watch all the games on TBL TV. They're able to get that subscription, and then and even my family that lives up in Washington, they're able to now go to games because we play in Seattle, we play in Wenatchee, we play in Vancouver. Like, they're able to go to these games and or watch on TBL TV. So the access from that standpoint, the amount of access that people have to our product that we're putting out is awesome.
Absolutely. Now I'm just going to get into some questions, Jason. Are you good for about another 20 minutes?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, no problem. My show originally was called 30 Minutes Live with CDP, but I was lucky with my guests over the years where they've been able to talk longer. But one thing I'm working on is whatever time my guest can give me, I just work around it, because that's where you got to be flexible. It's like in sports too, you have to be flexible. So if somebody can only give you 20 minutes, that's what I do. So, just some questions I wanted to ask you. Can you just tell my audience here a little bit about yourself here in Ontario, and where did you attend school, and did you have a mentor or mentors when you were in school and starting up as a teacher as well?
Yeah. So growing, for me, I went to 4 different universities over 6 different years. So I started at a community college in Vancouver, Washington. I then transferred to a school back home, which is Shoreline, Washington. And then I moved down to Arizona and went to Arizona Christian University. And after getting my bachelor's degree in elementary education there, where I had some great mentors, they were helping me, see where I was wanting to go teaching wise. I actually started teaching at the end of my junior year of college. I started teaching at a high school, and I was teaching. It was a middle high school, so it was great. It was grade 8, grade 7 and 8 through grade 12. So that was pretty cool. And getting to I was teaching math, so I was teaching statistics, and I was also teaching middle school math as well. And then when I moved up here to Salem, I did what's called a graduate transfer. And came and played basketball up here at Corban University, which is where I currently coach. And I played here for a season, and then I immediately started coaching after that and started teaching up here.
What do you enjoy the most about teaching and in coaching as well?
I just love that God is using me to impact others and to, utilize my gifts in ways that I would have never knew that I could do myself. Being in a college coaching position is something where you're providing an opportunity to people to get a college education, to play college basketball, and to also further their lives in one way or another. And that's something that, again, a privilege to be in that situation. It's not something where I take that lightly. I take that very seriously because, this is people's livelihood. They're spending money. There's opportunity costs that come with it for all these people. And then in regards to teaching, I just love, I teach kindergarten through 5th grade PE. And so I get to work with all the little kids. I get to work with the kids that are about to go into middle school. So like just helping them all, like just being with all the different ranges, like, during basketball season when I'm coaching, I start my mornings off with the college guys at 5 a.m. and then I get here at 7:30, and by 9 o'clock I'm with 5th graders, and then throughout the day I go 5th, 4th, 3rd, and then I go kinder, 1st, 2nd. So like I get a wide range of kids and people that I get to interact with every day, and it's just so cool that how I'm being used, and just being able to be an impact and be helpful and be able to serve all these kids and all these people. It's just a really big blessing to be in this position.
I know when I was back in elementary school, back in the 70s and 80s, I'm old. Physical education is so important, and even to this day, it is really important. It's not important just to go into school and stuff like that, but the physical education part of it is important as well. One thing I wanted to ask you about being an assistant coach with the university, Corban University, which is, I believe, in Salem. How hard is it being a student athlete and being able to balance the student life from being an athlete life?
Yeah, so that's something where, remembering back when I was in college and was attending school, I mean, that's one of the toughest things is, time management. People don't understand like how important it is to be able to manage your time. Like if you don't know how to compartmentalize or how to be like, hey, I need to do this. I need this now. Like I need to be able to sneak in a 20-minute nap or else I'm not going to be good for the rest of the day, type of stuff like that. And so that's something that I impart on my incoming freshmen, because my position at Corban is unique. I coach what's called the Gold Squad, which is the development team. So we bring in student athletes that are wanting a college basketball opportunity that may or may not be good enough athletically to be on our varsity team. And so I provide the opportunity, and I'm so grateful that God's put me in this position to provide this opportunity where we play a schedule of, up to 20 games against the junior colleges or the JV teams of some of the 4-year universities around here, or even the club teams of some of the bigger universities. And, one of the biggest things that I impart on my incoming freshmen is you got to learn how to manage your time. It's going to be tough the first month of school because you're going to think, oh, I want to go hang out with friends. Oh, I want to do that. Oh, but I got to be up at 4:30 in the morning. No, I'll be fine. I'll just go to sleep at 2. And then they wake up. I got to be up at 4:30, be ready for the lift. They're dragging during the lift or they're dragging during practice. I'm like, you didn't get enough sleep, did you? And he was like, no, I didn't. And so, helping them understand, and them also having to figure it out themselves because they're young men. They're leaving home for the first time. They're learning what it's like to be a student and an athlete. And it's not like you're in high school where you get to live with family. You get to have everything provided for you. Now you're an adult. You have to do it all yourself within reason.
Do you drink a lot of coffee with getting up early in the morning?
It's funny. I actually just started it's funny, spring break. So spring break was maybe 3 weeks ago. I had not had caffeine for over a year and a half prior to to spring break a couple of weeks ago. And since I got on spring break, I literally have had at least a cup a day, which is weird. Like, cause that's it's not an addiction for me or anything like that. It's just, I'm like, okay, sure. I feel like having a coffee. Sure. Why not? But I am not a caffeine addict by any stretch. I don't lean on it. I definitely just, rely on drinking a lot of water, staying hydrated. And if a coffee sounds good, a coffee sounds good.
Now, when you're teaching the younger kids, obviously it's physical education. Do you also teach about nutrition as well at that age, or is that too young for those ages?
Yeah, so we touch on a little bit of everything in that regard because, with the younger kids, we try to teach them, okay, like this is my play, like like how you're supposed to fuel yourself, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, what you should stay away from. But what's really hard is I teach in a very low income, high poverty school. So the access to what you could consider quality food and quality resources is kind of hard for a lot of these kids. So they're eating a lot of stuff with fillers in it, artificial stuff, all of that. And so we're trying to, help them understand, hey, this is probably not what you should be eating. And you should probably be eating this. And what's hard is in the US, I don't know how it is in Canadian schools, but in the US, the school lunches they provide are not good here. I mean, they try to say that they're healthy, but they're not. I see it every day. I'm in the lunchroom for a half hour, and it's not healthy. Like there's a little salad bar in the middle, but it's not healthy. It just looks like mystery meat, if I'm being honest, on most of the meals. But no, we try our best to teach nutrition to the kids, and then we also try to help them have a physical awareness of their bodies. I mean, showing, again, we talk about, cardiovascular system, cardiovascular endurance, and all of that stuff. And so it's a really cool thing.
That's something I need to get back to, because when I was younger in school, I was active playing sports and participating in physical education, and I was eating better. But when you get older in life, if you don't stay active, those pounds stick onto you. So my next goal, besides getting into radio, is probably to lose weight and become healthier and feel better. And getting sleep makes a difference too, with weight and stuff like that, and nutrition as well.
Mm-hmm. It sure does. And that's something where, as you age and as you move forward in years, your metabolism starts slowing down. And so then your ability to process the food and use it as energy is slowing down too. So that's awesome though, that you have that goal. And I really hope that you get to follow through on that, and that you also get to accomplish your goal to get into media as well.
Yeah, one thing I've learned this too, and it's not just as athletes, it's going to any career, you're going to have your successes, but you're also going to have your rejections. Don't take the rejections personally. Use it as motivation to keep improving and continue to keep learning. And you're never too old to keep learning as well.
Right. That's right. The old can't teach old dog new tricks isn't true.
Absolutely. Are you okay for a few more minutes, Jason?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm good. I'm good for 5 at least.
Okay, 5 more minutes. Okay. Yeah, you already talked about your physical education teacher role. I'm going to lead to my next question. I'm learning about listening skills too. Sometimes you ask a guest a question, and they can give you the answers to 4 or 5 questions.
Right.
So this one I wanted to ask you, how did you end up becoming an assistant coach with the men's basketball team at Corban University? And what has that experience been like so far?
Yeah. So when I moved up to Salem to graduate transfer at Corban, I knew that my degree was going to be, it was a 2-year master's degree in education with a curriculum and instruction emphasis. And so with that, I knew that I was going to be here for 2 years. And so once the season had ended, it actually, again, the pandemic had hit because it was 2019-2020 season. So once 2020 season literally ended, that the pandemic hit, and our coach at the time, the coach that brought me up there, he actually had left the school. And so then what happened was there was now a new opportunity with a new coach coming in. And so Coach Taylor Kelly, he came to us from Vanguard University down in Southern California. And one of the things that he and I talked about, I had expressed I'm interested in joining the coaching staff. And so he hired me on to run the development team and also be an assistant coach for the varsity team. And then from there, with the trust that we've built and with my role growing, I decided to step down from the varsity position and focus solely on being the development coach, because that's something that I feel a strong passion for, and I feel like there's a calling on my life for that and to impact those kids in that way. And so I've been running the development program now for 3 years.
How many games do they play in college basketball at Corban, and what division is it in NCAA basketball?
So it is in the NAIA. So it's in
Okay.
the yeah. So the NAIA is it's really cool because there are a lot of guys who are playing professionally anywhere that played in the NAIA, and it's a very competitive division, comparable to Division II NCAA. So there's a lot of players that choose to go the NAIA route instead, that have ended up in the professional leagues. But they usually play about 24 games in the regular season. And then from there, it kind of, it moves up towards the 30s.
Wow. And finally, I'm going to get to two more quick questions for you.
Yeah.
This one I wanted to ask you thoughts on the Salem Capital, your Capital season so far, and what do you feel the team needs to improve upon going forward? And just quick thoughts on your coach player, Kevin Johnson Jr., and Cody Brock, your assistant coach.
Yeah. So far this season, there's definitely, it's been, we've been growing together, getting to play with Kevin last year as a teammate, and now having him as a coach is a really cool opportunity because we know each other, we've sweated together, we've bled together, all that. And so a lot of the returning guys feel the same way, in that, it's not like you're building a whole new relationship with the person. But even with our new additions, it's been really good seeing our unit become cohesive. And if you're putting into context our schedule, right, we lost 3 games to the same team, which is Newfoundland, right? And then Seattle, who leads our division, we've lost to them 3 times. So 6 of our losses are from 2 different teams. And so where we're sitting at right now is in a pretty good spot, because the rest of the teams that we're playing, we're taking care of, So we're just continually growing and finding our identity in defense and rebounding, and, just making sure that we're working well together and continually focused towards our end goal which is peaking at the right time. It's not about right now. We're trying to figure things out, and that's great because we're not at the end of the season. And it's a nice point just being after the All-Star break here, just the second week after the All-Star break, where we get to align ourselves and, start our trajectory in the right direction.
You've played 14 games so far. How many games are in a regular season for the TBL?
For the TBL, I believe there's about 21 in the regular season. Don't quote me on that, but I think there's about 21. That sounds about right. And it all depends on what you're within your conference, because in our conference we have 3 teams in Washington, 1 team in Oregon, and then we have, I believe, 4 teams in California. So we have 8 teams. So we play each other at least 2 times, and then 2 to 3 times, I would say. So, and then adding in our other games that we've sprinkled in there.
Before we wrap this up, I'm going to have you back on again because there's more questions I want to ask you in the future.
Sure.
But traveling, you guys do it all on bus then, or do you guys do some flights?
So obviously for Newfoundland, we flew.
Yes.
We weren't going to drive that one, but some of our trips we fly. Some of them we drive. We either carpool or get community vehicle. But yeah, I mean it's one of those things which we all work together to make sure that we get there.
Okay, definitely. And before we wrap this up, the last question is: where can my audience follow you on social media and the Salem Capitals and Corban University's men's basketball team? And quickly, do you have a prediction for the NBA playoffs? I'm going to put you on the spot there.
Okay. All right. So I'll think about the playoffs while I give you all the social media stuff. Checking out Salem Capitals on Instagram is the best place to check out for all of the Salem Capitals stuff. They're not so much active on Twitter. I'm on Twitter, Jason Smarr 10. I'm on Instagram, Jason Smarr 10. That's pretty much if you want to look me up on Facebook, Jason Smarr. I'll accept friend requests. And I just love connecting with people. And so it's really cool to be able to be on your show, Chris, and be able to reach a new audience in Canada. And I hope to make not only some new friends, but some new fans in Canada as well. And also just continue to help you grow your audience.
Well, and I was going to say, and NBA pick, do you have somebody that you see winning the NBA Finals?
See, it's hard for me. The NBA is hard for me. Here's why. I'm from Seattle, born and raised in Seattle. So I don't have a team. So anybody but OKC can win it, and I'm fine. So with that, I would say I'm going for the Suns simply because Kevin Durant is a Sonic. Whether he put whatever uniform he puts on, he's still a Sonic to me. Yeah. So I'll go the Suns.
I'm going to go with the Boston Celtics. But one thing I want to say before I let you go is the Seattle Supersonics will be back in the NBA within the next few years because Seattle's now got a hockey team. They're supporting that. And Seattle is a basketball team. And it's just a matter of time before Seattle gets back an NBA franchise as well. But Jason, I want to say thank you so much for giving me some time today out of your busy schedule. And good luck tonight against the Bighorns and then the Bakersfield Majestics, I believe, on Saturday night. So you got a busy weekend ahead of you.
Yeah, busy one. And my birthday's on Sunday. So
I was going to say April 23rd. So happy birthday, Jason.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris.
So Appreciate you have a great rest of the day, great weekend, and we'll definitely keep in touch with you and the TBL as well. Thank you again, Jason.
Sounds good, man.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed Season 5, Episode 44 today with Jason Smarr, guard with the TBL, the Basketball League, Salem's Capital, and he's also an elementary school phys ed teacher, and he's also an assistant coach with Corban University in Salem, Oregon as well. I'm just going to play a little video clip of the Salem Capitals of the Basketball League and an interview with their owner.
Basketball team here in Salem. The Salem Capitals are part of the TBL, the Basketball League, Professional Basketball League with 45 teams across the country, and we are excited to be here. After I had graduated high school, I signed a Division I scholarship with Portland State University, and I was super excited. I moved out here, was in the dorms, and with a week being in the dorms, I just fell into a major slump emotionally, and I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know how to navigate it. I didn't know what steps to take, and I didn't know if I should let people know or not. I was a high-profile male athlete, and I wasn't supposed to be emotional about things. And I eventually just reached that point where the water just kind of tipped over the edge, and I had to make the decision to walk away from Portland State. And I literally went from the coach's office letting them know I couldn't do this anymore to the hospital. And I was diagnosed bipolar, and then a whole new journey started. The biggest thing for me is I just didn't want to be a burden to people. And so I didn't want the help. And I didn't ask for the help because that was my first thought was, I don't want to drag people down with me if I'm going to go down. And I've definitely learned from these experiences that once my mind is made up about something, it's real hard to change it. And that was probably my biggest learning experience over this entire journey, which is still going on, that it's okay to ask for help and that people genuinely want to help you. Basketball, just like cooking, drawing, writing, it kind of just became my sanctuary, and I'd be out there, and basketball on more than one occasion has literally saved me. And so to be able to have it come full circle and be in the position I'm in and be able to use basketball as a platform, not only for the community engagement, but for me to be able to build upon that community engagement and use that platform to promote this mental health awareness, I think is the most important thing to me. And that's, I don't want to say that's what I'm most excited about. I think as a whole, I'm just excited all around, but it's something I'm really looking forward to, implementing and building on. in the back of my mind, I always have that what if. And I totally could have done bigger and better things, but I'm a very big everything happens for a reason. And, you know, the adversity that I had to navigate in my past led me to this point, which is exactly where I want to be.
That clip was courtesy of the Salem, Oregon Chamber, and that was their owner, Jason Conrad, the president, team marketing owner of the Salem Capitals. And again, you can check their website out, salemcapitalsbasketball.com as well, or you can check out the basketballleague.net as well. And I want to say again, thank you to Jason Smarr, a guard with the Salem Capitals, phys ed teacher, and also assistant coach with the Corban University men's basketball team, for coming on today as well, guys. Just to wrap this up, next live with CDP Sports Talk, Season 5, Episode 45, brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet, will be Monday, April 24th at 8 p.m. Eastern with country singer-artist Kirsty Krause out of Nashville, Tennessee. So she's going to talk about her career as a country singer and how she got into the music industry. And she's based out of Nashville, Tennessee. And I'm looking forward to it. So I hope you guys can tune in again to Season 5, Episode 45 this Monday night, April 24th at 8 p.m. with country singer-artist Kirsty Krause from Nashville, Tennessee as well, guys. A little bit of sports to talk about before we wrap this up. The OHL Playoffs West Finals will be Sarnia and London. This will be the first time Sarnia will ever be in the third round in the OHL Playoffs. And the winner of that game, Sarnia-London series, will go to the OHL Championship. The Eastern Conference is still to be decided. The Peterborough Petes are upsetting the Ottawa 67s, the number one team in the country right now, 3-1, but don't count Ottawa out yet. And then you have a great series between North Bay and Barrie, which is tied 2-2. So the Eastern Conference of the OHL still has a little ways to go yet to determine their final two teams in the East. But I'm really looking forward to the Sarnia Sting and London Knights. The Sarnia Sting swept the Saginaw Spirit to advance, and London Knights defeated the Kitchener Rangers in 5 quick games to advance as well, guys. Also, National Basketball League of Canada action tonight. You have the Kalamazoo team from the TBL taking on the London Lightning at Budweiser Gardens, and the Kitchener-Waterloo Titans taking on the Windsor Express live at 7 p.m. at both the WFCU Center and Budweiser Gardens Center. And if you can't make it down to Windsor or London tonight, you can watch online stream at NBLC TV at 7 p.m. as well. My friend John will be doing the game for the London Lightning, John Urban, and for the Windsor Express, the talented Aaron Sanders for the Windsor Express as well. Also, guys, NBA playoffs tonight. You got Boston and Atlanta. Boston's up 2-0. Cleveland at the Knicks. They're tied at 1-1. And then Denver and Minnesota as well, guys. Again, also, you guys can check out the TBL's website, thebasketballleague.net as well. Before we wrap this up, guys, like I do with every show, live with CDP Sports Talk, a weekly sports and entertainment talk show hosted by yours truly, Chris Pame, is on weeknights at 8 p.m. Eastern to 9 p.m. Eastern on WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key, the home of Southern sports talk and the heartbeat of Atlanta. And you can check out their website at wqefm.radio12345.com as well. And again, Jason's basketball team, you can check out the Salem Capitals basketball team.com is their website. And also you guys can follow Jason Smarr on Twitter at Jason Smarr number 10 as well, 10. As always, guys, Live with CDP Sports Talk is live streamed on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. And I want to say thank you to everybody watching this on live stream as well, guys. Just bear with me. I'm just trying to fix my graphics. I'll do that after as well. Also, guys, you can check out my website at beacons.ai/Chris D. Pame. All my digital content and previous podcast episodes are on that website. Again, beacons.ai/Chris D. Pame as well. Live with CDP Sports Talk, again, is sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet dealership at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. Check out Barry Cullen for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, or give them a call at 519-824-0210, or email them at info@barrycullen.com as well. And they do have pre-orders available for the all-electric Silverado pickup truck and the all-electric Cadillac Lyric as well. And it's also, again, truck month at Barry Cullen Chevrolet. 2023 Silverado 1500, 3.49% financing for up to 72 months. Eligible Costco members can receive a $750 gift card on select trucks as well. So check out Barry Cullen again for that. And I want to say thank you for them to sponsor my show as well. Before we wrap it up, guys, you guys can follow me on TikTok at Live with CDP. That's at Live with CDP on TikTok. I post a lot of content on TikTok as well if you want to check me out there as well. And as always, StreamYard is the official live stream provider of Live with CDP Sports Talk. If you're into webinars or podcasting like myself, highly recommend StreamYard as well. Live with CDP Sports Talk, again, is produced by CDP Media Productions, myself, Chris Pame, here in Ontario, 2023 as well. Also, guys, Live with CDP Sports Talk podcast, the audio version is available on iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Anchor FM, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, Spotify, Castbox, LinkedIn, Stitcher, and Tuned In. And again, weeknights at 8 o'clock on radio station WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key in Metro Atlanta as well. And I want to say thank you to Ryan O'Neill for having me on his show on his station 4 nights a week from 8 o'clock at night to 9 o'clock as well, guys. Also, there's some NBA news I wanted to bring up today. The Toronto Raptors today announced after 5 years they have let go head coach Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse is their second winningest coach in franchise history and only one to win an NBA championship and the NBA Coach of the Year of 2020. So I was kind of surprised. I really thought Nick Nurse would have been back for another year, but I guess the Toronto Raptors and their general manager, Missouri, I can't pronounce his name, but their general manager and president, I guess, felt it was time for the Toronto Raptors to move on. But I believe Nick Nurse is a really good head coach and will find another job as well. And the Detroit Pistons are looking for a head coach too after Dwayne Casey is not coming back after his 5th year as well. So we'll see what happens there as well, guys. So again, I want to say thank you to everybody for watching Live with CDP Sports Talk today, my 264th episode, and really appreciate Jason Smarr giving me some time out of his day to talk about the Salem Capitals, the basketball league, and also his role as a phys ed teacher in an elementary school in Salem, Oregon, and also about Corban University, where he's involved as an assistant coach as well. And guys, as for my NBA picks, I'm picking the Boston Celtics to win the NBA championship as well, guys. And finally, before we wrap it up again, and just to let you know, the next Live with CDP Sports Talk, again, brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet, Monday, April 24th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central Time, with country singer, artist, Kirsty Krause from Nashville, Tennessee. So I really hope you guys can tune into that show, and she's going to talk about her music career, country singing, and being in Nashville, Tennessee as well. So I hope everybody has a great day, great weekend. I will be in London tomorrow night covering the London Lightning game against the TBL Kalamazoo team as a media affiliate. So please check out all my social media pages for videos, pictures, and game night story between the London Lightning and Kalamazoo team as well. They're playing tonight too at Budweiser Garden in London. So London is playing back-to-back nights against Kalamazoo, Michigan at Budweiser Garden, and the Windsor Express are taking on the KW Titans tonight at 7 o'clock at the WFC Center in Windsor. And if you can't make it down to Windsor or London for National Basketball League of Canada games, check out NBLC TV as well. And John Urban does a great job with the Lightning games. And Aaron Sanders, one of the best, does the Windsor Express games. Again, thank you to Jason Smarr for coming on live with CDP Sports Talk today. And again, I hope everyone has a great day, great weekend. And we'll see you guys Monday night at 8 o'clock with my guest, Kirsty Krause. Again, a country music singer out of Nashville, Tennessee. Have a great day, great weekend, everyone, and we'll talk to you Monday night for another edition of Live with CDP Sports Talk, brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet.